Hello everybody, this is pt.5 and welcome back to some more Miles Edgeworth Attorney Investigations. Turnabout Reminiscence. In the previous episode, we had found out all of the evidence that we could from the crime scene and started going off against young Francisca here. In this episode, that's what we're going to be continuing to do, so if you like what you see, leave a like down below, comment if you have anything to say, subscribe to me if you haven't already, and share with your friends so they can join in on this investigation. We'll just get moving. It was just a chance that Mr. Faraday's body fell on top of Mr. L's. The two bodies fell into a pile, which indicates that they attacked each other at the same time. It really doesn't matter in the slightest as they fell into opposite order. I just know that Francisca's explanation isn't absolutely correct. All I have to do is find a hole in her logic. Once I do, I can then present her with the evidence that proves the contradiction. It was just chance that Mr. Faraday's body fell on top of Mr. L's. Alright, what do we have? Knife was found in Rel's hand. Handgun. Anything on the pen? Seems Mr. Faraday was in the habit of using a very nice fountain pens. That's the total opposite of me! I don't get those things at all! Well, I think the pencil behind your ear suits you just fine. Really? You think so, pal? Man, I knew it was worth something. It wasn't exactly a compliment, detective. It's open. Looks like this is a cold as he knew. Hey, let me touch it up, pal! Oh, this is really... I got an ink all over my hand! Detective Gumshoe, don't ever play with the evidence like that again! Something on there... No, that's it. Interesting. Hold it! About that! Objection! Pressing someone's testimony in order to gain some time to think. You're a real one-tricky pony, aren't you? It's too bad your trick only works on fools. That wasn't my intent! I simply wish for more details as to how Mr. Faraday ended up on top of Mr. Rell. Someone's impatient. I was just about to explain everything to you. So don't you think you could hold on for just a minute? Ah! Francisca, I'll make you a deal. I'll hold on if you hold on to that whip of yours. I'll hold on to it, alright, as I rip your... Ah! Well, now that you've quieted down a bit, I'd like to continue if you don't mind. Really? The two bodies fell in a pile. Hold it! The two fell on top of each other. Don't you find that to be just a bit strange? Not at all. I can see it in her eyes. She's dead set against me from the very bottom of her heart. Miles Edgeworth. Once I'm done here, you'll see that there's nothing strange at all. Now then, the two men fell on top of the pile, which indicates that they attacked each other at the same time. Hold it! What do you mean? What do you mean they attacked each other at the same time? I assume Mr. Faraday has two different weapons in his hands. He made to attack Mr. Rel while holding both the knife and the revolver. And then, after Mr. Faraday fired the gun, Mr. Rel grabbed the knife as he was falling and stabbed Mr. Faraday. That is how Mr. Rel wound up on the bottom with Mr. Faraday on top. Close range, that is more than possible. Yes, possible, but... Well, if you have any other ideas, then show me what you've got! Oh, I will. And to that extent, I'd like for you to append what you just said to your testimony. Humph. I don't see any point to that, but as you please. The fact that indicates that they attacked on from close range. From close range, eh? Alright. Whoops, wrong one. I meant to get the autopsy report. Or crime scene notes. Alright. Burn Faraday, age 40, Macro, age 32. Approximate time of death, September 10th, approximately 4 p.m. Discovered immediately after a gunshot was heard. Faraday died of a knife stab to the chest. The shock from stabbing caused instantaneous death. Rel died of a bullet wound to the chest. There's no gunpowder burn on his clothes, suggesting he was shot from a few yards away. It's possible he was alive a little while after being shot. You know what, let's check the third page anyway. Oh, okay, it's just the... That is not possible. There are no gun burns or gunpowder burns on the body. Objection. So you believe they killed each other at close range? Sorry, but that's impossible. Just as it is written in the crime scene notes, the firing of the handgun did not leave a gunpowder burn on Mr. Rel's clothes. Therefore, Mr. Rel and the gun must have been separated by a distance of at least 2 or 3 yards. Ah! Yes, this is by far the biggest contradiction. The two bodies are piled up on each other, yet the gun was fired from a distance. And with there being no chance that Mr. Rel moved that far away after being shot, that leaves only one possible explanation. What a completely foolish line of foolish thought from a thoroughly foolish fool! If I'm not right, then who was it that made the first move with the intent to kill, huh? Who? The person that attacked first with murderous intent, that would be... Okay, they presented No Man as a third option. Logically, you would think Mr. Faraday, because the gun... Alright, so what? You know what? It's time for some safe stats. When is the most recent? Okay. Mr. Faraday, of course. Except that it's not, of course. It's neither man. Here, in this room, contradictions appear no matter which man we claim attacked first. Thus, there can only be one explanation. There was a third person here. It was that third person who killed both Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rel, and set their bodies up to make it look like they killed a double murder. That third person is the real culprit. Miles Edgeworth says just one thing that you're missing. Evidence, correct? Exactly. Everything you you've said up until now is nothing but a story played out in your head. However, this is where the real test begins. Can you prove that there was a third person in this crime, involved in this crime? Of course. If the third person was truly here, the fact that would resolve this glaring contradiction. The proof that has been made up to be a setup to make it look like they killed each other. I'll present it, and lay bare for the final piece of the puzzle that is not yet in place. What is the piece of evidence that proves that there is a third person involved? Take that! The gun in Mr. Faraday's hand, and the plastic bag with his blood on it. These two items point to the presence of a third person. How so? Recall Detective Gumshoe's testimony. I was in the hallway the whole time, but I didn't hear a single peep of a struggle. If there wasn't a struggle in this room, then there shouldn't be any plastic bags on the ground, meaning that someone must have deliberately scattered them around. Do you not see the possibility in this? Disregarding the gun for the moment, there's a high probability of blood spatter when a knife is used on a person. The culprit had held the knife with a plastic bag around it. They could have used the bag to catch any blood spatter when they withdrew the knife. Then by spreading a few more plastic bags around, mixing the bloody one within them, and arranging the room to make it look like there was a struggle between the two, they were able to conceal their presence. Gah! Looks like we've still got a long way to go in this investigation. Yes.
Objection!
Oh, Lord. Hi. Okay. What do you want? Where are we at? Wow. What the heck's up with you, pal? Mr. Bad, I advise you to place Detective Gumshoe under arrest. What?! What's the meaning of this? Ha! Looks like you're not man enough to discipline your own subordinate. Don't you dare! The detective claims he was there standing in front of the door the entire time. But I have it on good authority that he was all a giant lie. Miss Yew, I ask that you please explain that last statement. I'll let His Honor explain it himself. I saw it with my own two eyes, I tell you! During the recess, there was a period of time when there was no one in the hallway. What?! See, Mr. Bad? So I asked you again, why would a detective who was supposedly doing his job the whole time want to fabricate such a lie? Gumshoe. Did you kill Faraday? No! Of course not, sir! It appears that the one who set up this whole crime scene is that detective. Which basically renders his testimony a complete lie and wholly invalid. It looks like your perfect logic has just come tumbling down, Miles. Ugh. I was in the hallway the whole time, but I didn't hear a single peep of a struggle. Was that statement really a lie? Detective Gumshoe, you're now a suspect in the murder of the two men. must spit out the truth, or so help me. I haven't lied to anyone, sir! Honest! I was really there! I was really in the hallway the whole time! Hold it! Detective Bad, I ask that you please do not act without my permission. After all, I am the one that is heading up this investigation, am I not? Don't talk like you know what's going on, boy. I want for this investigation to run perfectly. Perfection is the only wish of a disciple of Von Kama, after all. Therefore, before you decide to take Detective Gumshoe into custody, I'd like to set the record straight on something. And what's that? What should I ask Detective Gumshoe about? Detective Gumshoe, why were you missing from the hallway for a span of time? Look, pal! Like I said, I was there the whole time, okay? But there's testimony against you that... Objection! Well... Miles Edgeworth! Why are you wasting our time with this a completely useless question? The only logical reason as to why he was absent is that he was busy committing the murder. Anyone who says otherwise is a fool. Ugh. Maybe I should ask about something else. What should I ask Detective Gumshoe about? Motives for murder. I suppose the one thing I'd like to clarify is Detective Gumshoe's motive for committing this crime. Motive, huh? Gumshoe, got a grudge against Faraday or anything? No, sir! Not me! Not a single bad thing about against Mr. Faraday, sir! It's a fact. Objection! You really have a problem with lying, don't you, Detective Gumshoe? I'm telling you, I am not lying! The more unnatural you act, the more suspicious you come, you know? If you want a motive, Edgeworth, I have one for you right here. Could you please share it with us? However, be forewarned that I won't hesitate to object to flights of fancy, because all I'm interested in is the perfect explanation. You're serious, aren't you? Fine. You always amuse me, so I'll humor you with a little courtroom practice. Going up against you! It was about a week ago. I saw the detective get chewed out by a livid Faraday in front of the precinct. He stood up super pale as Mr. Faraday yelled, "That's a salary cut for you, you nitwit!" A brand new detective suddenly getting his salary cut. That's reason enough for a grudge. Well, how's that for the perfect explanation? You totally misunderstand me, pal! No matter how mad I would get, I could never hold a grudge. Quiet. You can't trust anything you say. Sir? There's nothing wrong with the motive she proposed, per se. But there's some gaps in her logic that needs to be filled in. This used perfect explanation may not be so perfect after all. It was about a week ago. Hold it! A week ago? Then you and Detective Gumshoe are acquaintances. No way. I only met him in person today. Then how did you know about Detective Gumshoe? I've seen him around before. Wow, that was... I saw the detective get chewed out by a livid Faraday in front of the precinct. Hold it! Mr. Faraday was upset. Yeah, you know what else? Mr. Faraday isn't exactly known to get angry often. But there he was, totally beat red in the face. and the offending detective stood there, pale as a ghost, like he was about to die. Just like the face he's making right now, right? No, I'm completely innocent, I tell ya! The poor man. It was quite the scene with the detective. She has a real problem. A laughing problem. He stood there super pal as Mr. Faraday yelled, "That's the salary cut for you, you nitwits. Hold it!" Just stood there watching this unfold in front of you. Yeah, I have to say it was really enjoyable too. But that's why when I saw you, detective, earlier, I knew to stay clear of him. No way! I thought it was because I had something stuck in my face. But you do. Huh? What if I got stuck in my face? Let's start with your eyes, nose, mouth. Oh! And those ridiculous eyebrows. Huh? Oh man, messing with your head is just so fun. Miss Yew, if you don't mind, I'd like you to return for your testimony for now. Okay, she's gonna present a problem. Nobody messes with Gumshoe except the internet. Sure, why not? Brand new detective suddenly getting his salary cut. That's reason enough for a grudge.
Hold it!
To cut a new detective's salary right off the bat like that. I'm not really familiar with the way you guys relate, but is that a common practice? Speaking of cutting my salary, didn't you threaten to do that to me earlier too? I suppose I did. It's only natural to cut a first detective's salary down to their actual worth. My father can even fire anyone, new or old, with the snap of his fingers. Do you think that maybe that's reason enough for detectives to hate you people? Well, I guess they really shouldn't cut people's pay. Detective Bad, don't tell me Mr. Von Karma cut your salary earlier? Well, how's that for the perfect explanation? Hold it! Call your explanation perfect. It's not to your liking. Unfortunately for you, it's just not up to my standards. Oh, is there something you want me to clarify in that case? What should I do? Should I raise an objection? Sure? Alright, if you could clear one thing up for me. Well, that's true. From your testimony, I understand why you would kill Mr. Faraday, but why Mr. Rell? I understand Detective Gumshoe's potential motive for killing Mr. Faraday. However, what about his motive for killing Mr. Rell? His motive for killing Rell? Like I would know. If there was no clear motive for both of the murders, then I doubt this incident would have occurred. Wouldn't you agree? Is there anyone else who might have a grudge against either of the two men? Or should we look into that ourselves? Oh, in that case, I have absolutely no idea. What? That's impossible. She must have known something. Wait. Can you please not glare at me like that? It makes me laugh. Ugh, you didn't even do anything and you're already laughing away. Well, anyway. The way I see it, as long as he had a motive to kill one of the two, this crime would have played out the way it did anyways. Oh? Would you care to explain your logic? And this time, please try to provide a truly perfect explanation. Perfect this, perfect that. Stop being so uptight, or that a requisite trait for being a Von Karma. Miles Edgeworth, I demand that you shut this rudiment up. My pleasure. I wish you both be quiet for a second. Oh well. I guess I'll have to explain it to you kids. Wow, I didn't even have to present anything. There's no one out there with a motive to kill both Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rell. Oh, yeah, we gotta end this off. We're out of time for today, so in the next episode of Miles Edgeworth Ace Attorney Investigations, we are going to go and listen to her second testimony. So, I will see you guys later.